Oil companies are making their stance clear, no longer pretending to be part of a low-carbon transition. That's according to climate experts, as BP announces a return to its fossil fuel focus. The oil giant revealed it is slashing planned investments in renewable energy and other transition businesses by more than $5 billion, now budgeting just $1.5 to $2 billion annually.
Over the last few years, 5 years, there's been a debate about whether or not the fossil fuel industry, and particularly the big oil companies, could be part of the green transition, the low carbon transition. I think the announcement today from BP, that's been trailed very heavily that they're abandoning their green targets, it ends that debate forever. The oil companies are no longer even pretending that they're going to be playing a part in a low carbon transition. And that's either because they don't want to, like the big companies like Exxon and Chevron, or companies like the European companies, Shell and BP, who've been told categorically by the markets that they won't support those efforts. And if they want to get keep their share prices up and keep the confidence in markets, they're going to have to double down on oil and gas. We never could really count on the oil industry to be leading transition based on the rhetoric. Now the reality makes it 100% clear that this is now down to governments. It's down to governments to make sure that these companies, which are still coining huge amounts of money from fossil fuels, pay their fair share, not just for the transition, whether that's via taxes or other levies that are made on them, but also pay their fair share for the loss and damage that's already being caused by climate change.
Charlie Kronick, senior climate advisor for Greenpeace UK, says the latest moves confirm what many already suspected.
Populism globally is probably the biggest threat to strong environmental action, but there are equally really strong motivations to keep that momentum going. It's just that the focus will inevitably now shift away from those big top-down initiatives, and I think will be much more likely delivered by national governments that are looking out for the welfare of their citizens and communities, particularly ones on the front lines, whether it's from flooding or fire, that need to protect themselves from the worst impacts of climate change. There's no question that the policies of governments like the Trump administration and others, they are slowing and reversing progress that's been made over the last years and decades. I mean, it would be irresponsible and would be out of touch with reality not to acknowledge that.